Welcome to Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's Bucket List Beers episode, we confirm if this beer is a Saison for all seasons. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. So, Saison is one of my favourite beer styles. So I am quite excited to do this one today because this is probably my favourite Saison.
I don't know if I've ever actually had one of these before, to be honest, but I drink a lot of Saisons.
Shock.
When you asked me of like, oh yeah, I feel like I probably have had one, but like, I just don't recall doing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't recall actually doing it. But I imagine that I was somewhere and I was like, oh, just have that, but not really realizing like the gravity of it being like that bucket list beer, and you know, something that everyone sort of talks about. But
I am shocked.
I do drink. Like I'm actually always
Saison.
Surprised because I do drink a lot of Saison. And then you were like, "Do you have any other Saisons?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." But unfortunately, everyone that I went through was like really like 750ml bottles, or like a very fancy barrel aged with like really fancy ingredients. And I was like, "Oh, I guess I won't have that one then." I had to go through about 10 options, and I was like, I actually have quite a lot of Saisons, yeah.
Okay, so the Saison that we are talking about right now is Saison Dupont. I believe this is the Saison of Saisons. I'm putting it out there right now.
It might. Well, I don't know. It might be the Saison of Saisons. I've got.
To me, it is
thoughts based on when we get to the general public feedback. I will tell you the findings that I had from the general public. And I think that it would probably align. The evidence that I found probably does actually align with what you've said. But if I looked it up, I don't think I've actually. I'm looking it up now.
And then
I've had it. I have had it.
Oh, you've had it? Does it say when
I have had it? Let's look.
When did you have it?
I had it in July of 2024. I do remember having this now. I do remember having this now. And I think it's because this was when I was on a work trip to the Netherlands, and I was in a really great bar that had lots of really great Belgian beers, and I had a really good beer selection. And now that I see this photo, it does trigger my memory. This was like end of night drinks, and I think I saw it and I was like, everyone talks about that and I've never had it. I'm gonna get it. And then I did, but because it was like I was talking to the people I was with, I think I probably didn't pay that much attention to it. So I wasn't giving it like that focused, but like I picked it because I was like, everyone talks about it, and then proceeded to like ignore it
and not pay attention to it.
I think I probably actually spilled it as well. There was one beer that I definitely, it wasn't my fault. It was like the table was like uneven and it knocked over and spilled everywhere, and this one could have been the one that got knocked over.
Well, we will concentrate.
It was a great night
today. We are also going to have like a second Saison each from our stashes. Shall we not tell each other what they are, and we'll like
no, don't tell each other yet. Don't tell each other yet. But this was the meaning behind when Joe was like, do you have another one? And I was like, sure, but not really, but just kidding. And then I found like one that I think will be a really interesting. I made that sound. I hyped that up too much.
You set the bar
I hyped that up
really
too much.
high.
Yeah, I was like, it'll be really interesting. But like the reason I think it'll be really interesting, it's hyped up. So lower your expectations.
Okay. All right. Do you want history of Brasserie DuPont first, or do we want to crack the beer first?
Oh yeah, let's do like the tasting notes so that we can crack the beer, and I can actually have the beer, and then I want to sip through it. It'd be good.
All right, I'm going to save history then, and let's talk about Saison as a style.
This is where I get very conscious about my resting face as you are reading things out, and I shouldn't.
Yeah, because
I'm just going to sit like this.
Focus on there. I'm going to do the history of Saison, because Saison, like as a style, and we have done an episode on Saisons and grisettes before, so I'll put that in the show notes if you want to go back and see it. But Saison I feel like it's quite a romanticized style, right? So like,
I also feel like it's so broad. There's so many beers that are like Saison.
We will
Saison.
get into that. We will get into that. So it's quite like, it's got this name, right? So Saison means season in French. It is a beer style that originated in Wallonia, which is a French-speaking region of Belgium.
It sounds great.
And right, it's all like this lovely, and it
sounds fancy.
It's a farmhouse ale, like it was created on farms, and the story goes that it was brewed with whatever they had on hand on the farm, and they used to brew it in the winter, and then they'd store it until the summer, and it would be given to the seasonal workers, the saisonniers, hence saison, who would come and help them on the farm in the summer.
That's the one key thing that I remember as well from when we did that episode was like, well, if I were in a certain time period, I would love to be a saisonnier and just basically be like, I guess I will do this farmhand work. And then it was like, actually, but really, I'm just like, oh, just give me the saisons.
Drinking the beers. So we don't know how accurate this is. This is the romanticized story that we've heard, as with many of the stories around beer styles and famous beers. Sometimes these stories get kind of embroidered with extras to make them sound nice. So this is
not to me, it's 100% true to me.
Yeah. It's 100% true to you. So basically there was, and we don't know if it was this style that we drink now. It probably wasn't the Saison that we drink now. It was a beer that was made with whatever they had hanging around. It could have been made out of wheat. It could have been made out of barley. It could have been made out of spelt. It could have been made out of rye. They might have been malted. They might not have been. They might have chucked in whatever herbs, spices, fruits, things were hanging around, chuck those in just to make this beer. A fun fact, I'm gonna hit you up with a fun fact really early.
I love a fun fact. I hope there's more, not just like I hope you don't just like blow it all on the one. I've got some other fact.
Bits, but I quite like this one. This one's quite good. So the farmhands that this beer was made for and given to, so they were given this beer to keep them working. They were given. Work on me. They were given 4.5 litres of this beer per day. That's equivalent to 8 pints.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was going to be like, mean? I'm bad at math. What does that mean? I actually feel that's very mean. You wouldn't give me the math on that.
So they were given these 8 pints of this beer per day. But that must mean that it was quite low ABV, but it was also nutritious to keep them going throughout the day. There were even lower ABV versions that were drunk by children.
Oh, I do. I feel like I remember hearing that before, and being like, what? So
it's one of those, like, it's like table beers and stuff. Like, the time it was being made, everyone drank it because it's probably safer than the water at the time.
Safer than water.
Like, it had a bit of everything in it. It was the nutritious drink that you drank throughout the day. That is not the style that we've got nowadays. We'll come into when that style was developed, at least when Saison Dupont was developed, when we get to the history of that. But the style as we know it today, these are the BJCP style guidelines, so that we know that before we start drinking it.
I can't wait for the numbers.
It sits in category 25 strong Belgian ales, and Saison is 25B. Overall, is a refreshing, highly attenuated, dry finished beer with lively carbonation and moderate to assertive bitterness. In aroma, it will have fruity esters, often citrus, stone fruit, or pomme fruit. It will have a spicy yeast character and continental hops that provide a spicy, floral, or earthy aroma. In appearance, it can be pale gold to amber. On the SRM scale is 5 to 14. We're going to get our little swatches out and check the colour of it.
You know what? I was at an event. I'm not going to say what, because I'm not going to date this, but I was at an event and did a tasting, and it was like a guided tasting of how to taste beer. The WSET sort of walked through it, and they had like the papers that were all like, we look at this, we look at this, we look at this, and then it had.
Did it have the colour grid
in the middle? It had like a line of the colours. It wasn't like. it wasn't anything like extra fancy. It was like literally just quite basic of like, this range is considered this range is considered this. And it was just like little swatches of color across it, a little color bar. And I was just laughing. I was like, my color swatch. And I was thinking, if I fold this, I can hold it up against things. And I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is my perfect swatch. But I don't think it actually had like the SRM number. It might have done. I can't remember, but like that would have been the only thing keeping it from perfection. It's maybe slightly bigger, so I could turn it into like a ruler and the actual SRM numbers on it.
I love it. Tori's going to come up with her own range.
I'm gonna just buy like a proper wooden ruler like you used to have in school, and I'm gonna like print out
just stick it.
A version of the SRM. I'm just gonna stick it on there, and then like when I go out in public, be like, bam, my SRM meter.
I'm going to make this for you as a gift.
Please do. I would love it. If I don't have to do like a really made up one where I just like tape a piece of paper to a room. Oh my God, if you could make it like one of those rollout, like a proper
measuring tape.
Yeah, measuring tape. If you can make it like a measuring tape, would love that.
Oh my God.
Would love that. That's my dream.
We've gone so off-piste already. Back to the appearance of Saison, according to BJCP. It's often unfiltered with a long-lasting white head and Belgian lace. So it's like, so it laces as it goes down. Like it's usually quite a thick, moussey head on these, if poured properly. In flavour, it should be fruity, spicy, with a grainy malt background. It should be dry and refreshing. And its strength. So, this is another fun fact for you.
Oh God, you really hit me with the fun facts, like fat, quick, and hard. I love it.
BJCP gives it 3 strength ranges: table strength, 3.5 to 5% ABV; standard, 5 to 7% ABV; and super saisons, 7 to 9.5% ABV.
I do like that. Super Saison. I feel like this is tickling a part of my brain that I do think that there was somebody's named their beer Super Saison. I think
that. Oh yeah, I feel like
there is one that is literally called Super Saison. That's meant to be quite a well-known one, but off the top of my head, I can't remember who. If you remember, please tell me. I'll Google it after. But
I can't remember.
I like that. That's an actual strength. Like, and Super Saison. Can other beers be Super Saisons? Like, I would love it if in the guidelines they were like, this range also is applicable to like this stout, and then like, yeah, this stout is the range it goes from is a Super Saison up to fantastic.
This is great. IBUs 20 to 35, which gives it a moderate perceived bitterness. 7 temperature should be 4.4 to 7.2 degrees Celsius. That is 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Best glass to drink it out of is a tulip, because the curved shape will capture the thick foamy white head. And notable examples: Saison Dupont, Saison de Pipe, and Boulevard Tank 7 Farmhouse Ale. I feel like that Boulevard one is
that one just doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's an American version. I feel like that's for the American market.
But I think it's just when you name the other two and then you get to that one, it just, I don't know, something about it really stands out in a way that I just go, one of these things is not like the others.
That will come up again. Like, there'll be a reason why that is on the list.
Okay.
Later on, I think it will come clear.
All right, I'm going to put the pin back in that.
Yeah, put a pin in that.
For
right.
Now.
Shall we try it and see if it?
Yeah. Do I have to like? Is this one of the ones where I have to like pour in a specific way, or do it just normal pours?
No, but it is bottle conditioned. I can already see the yeast in the bottom of my bottle, so you do need to be careful when you pour it.
Right, let's give it a go.
I have got my shaped Lindemann's glass.
I'm just using my normal tasting glass.
With the structure of the head. Now, this is quite fizzy.
It smells beautiful. I don't feel like I'm close to it, but I'm not that close to it. And I feel like I'm smelling banana. Well, that might just be grain. Hold on. Oh, that just smells beautiful. Look at that. I was very careful with my pouring. That's why I don't have like a massive head on it.
Mine is very...
It does look quite carbonate. Like there's lots
it
of
be
very quick
carbonated.
moving, relatively not huge, but not small. Yeah, I'll do that as well so you can see it on mine.
Many
like,
bubbles.
Very visible bubbles going up. You know what I was thinking of when you were saying about like, oh, the romanticized story and it's like a romanticized style, is that when we talked in a Valentine's episode and the topic came up about the what are other like romantic beer styles and stuff, like I do feel like Saisons as well, especially because I can't remember if we named Saisons or not. I think it was something else, but like for me also, I feel like Saisons, especially because you do get a lot of them in like big sharing bottles, and they like, I don't know, something about them just feels extra fancy and sophisticated as well. Like it feels like the right thing to do to whip out with a charcuterie board, the right thing to do to take at a picnic, it just feels right.
I think it's the bubbles as well.
Bit.
Like we've been trained that, champagne is what we do as a celebration, right? And it's very carbonated, so a very carbonated beer goes with that quite well. My head is like actually coming out of the...
You do need a flake.
You need a flake for that. It does have a thick head. It sure does. It's got a nice estery aroma.
Yeah, it really does. But I could smell that as I was pouring it from this far away, and I think that's it. Is like the aroma on it is so strong that it is very just really pronounced. Like I didn't need to be hovering over it to be like, oh, no. I really got those aromas. That estery aroma was just like immediate from the get-go.
It smells like bready, peppery.
For me, like peppery. The immediate thing that comes to my brain is just like that smell of Belgian yeast. When you have like a Belgian beer and it is that like particular, I literally can't describe it any other way other than like that Belgian-y smell. That to me is like what it smells like.
Do you want another fun fact about that?
Oh my God, always. But not if that's going to be your last fun fact. That's going to make me really sad if that's the last.
No, I think I've got some more. Fun bits to come up.
Make them up. If not, I'll never know.
It is believed that the yeast strain that is used for Saison comes from a red wine strain.
Ooh, that is a fun fact.
But that there's a little bit of conjecture around it. So Saison, like DuPont, say like it's their, like they've got their house strain, air quotes, and they don't commit to where it originally came from. So though the overarching one is thought to come from red wine, DuPont do not necessarily agree with that.
It's interesting because I feel like we talked about this before like several times. I don't feel like we talk enough about yeast in beer, in the sense of like everyone knows it's a key ingredient. You can't have a beer without it, that kind of thing. But like we never talk about how important yeast, when you nerd out you do, but like that's only on certain things. And I really think that it doesn't get the level of notoriety, like yeast doesn't get the level of notoriety that it should in comparison to other ingredients when it comes to beer. But that can only be topped by the fact that I think wine talks about yeast even less.
Yeah.
So like you just being like, derived wine from red like, wine. I'm like,
grapes.
To the point that you're like, do you need, like, surely you need yeast at what? And so that's the thing of like, this is the first time that it ever actually popped into my head that I'm like, oh yeah, it probably does use yeast, doesn't it? And then I think like it never even occurred to me that like different red wines, different wines might use different yeast, because that's how much you do not talk about anything other than the grapes when it comes to the terroir, but like the grapes specifically are always what you talk about when you talk about wine. So that, not only is that a fun fact, but that is absolutely just, blown my mind. It's really given me an existential crisis to think about.
Shall we try it?
I know the perfect person to talk to about it as well.
You do. Cheers.
I need this after my day. Oh, that is beautiful.
It's good, right?
Ooh, sip one and it's beautiful. It does have like already sip one, and I'm like, it feels celebratory. I'm not even celebrating anything, and it feels celebratory.
Like it's complex. There's so much going on in it, but you can still kind of pick everything out. There's that dryness. There is a bitterness, but it's nicely balanced with everything else. There's an earthiness, a spiciness, a pepperiness. There's a little bit of... Okay, so here's another thing that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the term white fruits?
White fruits. If I thought about white fruits, I would think of things like white grapes and maybe melon, like sad melon.
Sad melon.
So yeah, like not watermelon, like the sad one, like honeydew. That's what I would think of.
A couple of years ago, I saw this term and I was like, what does that mean? And it actually refers to, from what I understand, someone can tell me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it refers to like apples, pears.
Was it because the flesh is white?
Because the flesh is white, right? So I feel like it's a
sad
European
melon. The
term.
outside is white.
I feel like it's a European term.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I then saw it again crop up today when I was doing research for this, and I was like, oh, that's where that's come from. So I think it's more like kind of that like appley, peary type note. And it's a way, right, because as well, we also use apple and pear drop as off flavors descriptors in beer. So I think by saying white fruit, that means that like it's meant to be there, it's not an off flavor, is what I've determined today.
I do think like I've heard people use the term like, but more so if I, again, back to like wine.
Yeah.
I've got, I think I've talked about it before, just briefly talk about it again, as I got a wine subscription once. Not because I drink a lot of wine. I think I've talked about it several times on this podcast.
Box.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I forgot about that. You can still have my extra box. But I got this wine subscription. I like wine to a degree, but I really got the subscription because I wanted the box that it gave with the top that was a cheese board top, and I thought it was great. I think it was amazing. Don't regret it at all. And then I kept getting points, and then they'd be like, here's new things you can get with your points, and I'm like, well, I can't cancel it now. I'm scamming them. Like, this is it, is I'm scamming them. But what you get is in your box you had to have like a minimum of 3 beers in this 3 wines in the subscription, and like when you got the wine, you would also get a tasting card that would say, here's the flavors of it, here is what it pairs really well with if you want to cook dinner to pair with it, and it would give you like a meal with like a little recipe card thing, and like just the key things of like, here's what you would pair and here's what you're looking for, and a little blurb about it. Oh, that was really interesting. And like that's something that I do find tends to be more uniquely when it comes to wine more than beer, as you will get like the winery or companies that are doing subscription services or whatever else being like, here is the tasting notes and here's what it should pair with, and here is all this like really great information. Sometimes we get breweries struggling to just be like, these are the ingredients that are in it, which is fair enough, but like I think
accurate flavor profiles.
Yeah, I think on one of the recipe cards, it like I've seen in the wine cards that are very much like, oh, the flavors here are white fruits, and I just kind of interpreted that how I wanted to interpret that, which was like, yeah, like white grapes and stuff. But now that you've said that, I'm like, yeah, that probably actually does make sense that it is apples and pears.
I do get that kind of pear drop type flavor to it, which
I think now that you've said that, I kind of smell it a little bit. But I didn't before, and it's not what I would have placed before, but now that you've said that, I'm like, I could see that little, because it's that little burst of like sweetness in there as well. I actually think like in the taste I also get a little bit of almost like lemon, but like again, it's that complexity because it's kind of all rolled in. It's this big complex flavor, and lemon is just the one that I picked out. Like that's what popped into my brain first when I sipped it.
What I really like about Saison Dupont is that it's got all this complexity, but it's still really drinkable.
It's very drinkable.
It is like, it's your baseline Saison. Like, this is what a standard Saison should taste like before, I don't want to say messed with, but before we've
Adulterated.
chucked loads of extra bits in, or we've changed up the malt, or we've added fruit, or we've added some Brett, or we've added this to it, we've done that to it. Unadulterated, this is what a Saison should taste like. And it is still very delicious, very drinkable, does give you that sense of something, something exciting. That's why I like it.
What was the colours that you said again?
It should be pale gold to amber. I think it's gold.
I'd say pale gold. Yeah, I would say gold. It's
gold.
When you say pale gold, I say, oh, it's more on the pale gold, but actually it is just gold.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say amber.
No. Lots of bubbles. Even now, my head is still lingering
clear.
and lacing.
I'm getting lacing on it, which I didn't think I was getting, but I think that was more, I just assumed because of my glass. But as I'm drinking it, it is going down. It's really drinkable.
It is.
But you can see how this is like a workers in the summer drinking this. And you know what? Sometimes I'm at my most productive when I'm having a few beers. Like, I'm so much more motivated. Like, if I'm tidying something or I'm sorting through something, like, give me 8 pints and I'm like,
yay,
I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. It might not be the end result I wanted, but it is keeping me going, and that's good. And I could definitely have like 8 pints. This is great.
Would you like to hear the history of Brasserie DuPont, who makes this beautiful beer?
Absolutely. To be honest, I don't really know anything about them other than the fact that they make this beer, because I don't think I've ever really looked into anything other than this beer.
Well, Brasserie DuPont is a family-run Belgian brewery in Tourpay in Lausanne-Hainaut, in the Hainaut province in Wallonia, Belgium. The brewery sits on a working farm, and that farm dates back to 1759. But 1759 is when the farm was created. They've only been making beer there since 1844, though.
Oh, then this is basically BS.
Right?
Don't trust it. They're too new. They're too new. But I do love that they're like, we are an actual working farm, though.
Yes,
so we give them pints.
And the brewery is on the site of the old Rimo de Ridder farm. Though the modern corporate structure of Brasserie DuPont is listed from 1950 on their website, its brewing presence and identity stretch back to the 19th century. Traditionally, they are a small rural producer. They've survived 2 world wars and depressions that shuttered many other Belgian breweries, but they managed to stay open. They stay true to local farmhouse traditions, even as larger urban breweries closed around them. Most importantly, in 1920, Louis DuPont wanted to move to Canada, but his father, Alfred, was like, no, don't go to Canada. Stay here. I'll buy you a brewery. So he bought him.
I genuinely wish that when I was like, hey guys, I'm moving to the UK, that my family was like, no, I will buy you a brewery. I would have been fan. I mean, I'm not saying that brewery would still be open today, so I think that's probably something I don't have in common.
Yeah.
Even if I were offered a brewery, but I like the idea. I'm a dreamer.
So Alfred was like, don't go to Canada. I'll buy you a brewery. Stay here. So he bought the brewery on the Rimo de Ridder farm. And as Louis started the brewery up there, that's when he developed Saison Dupont into what we drink today. Though beers were being made there much earlier than that. Though the brewery is best known internationally now for Saison Dupont, its original best-selling beer was Moinette Blonde. It's actually named after the monks that were in a monastery down the road from the farm. So that was a blonde beer that was actually their bestseller until Saison Dupont kicked it off the top spot. It did that because actually in the 80s, the style was starting to wane and people weren't ordering it anymore. Only people that were ordering it were the locals and old people.
Ooh.
But
that's hard.
I know, nobody was buying it, so it almost died out. and the blonde ale and a lager that they sell were actually doing much better at the time. But beer writer Michael Jackson, not that Michael Jackson,
every time, genuinely, without fail, every time you're like, Michael Jackson, no matter who you talk to, Michael Jackson, not Michael Jackson.
The beer writer Michael Jackson included Saison Dupont in his book Great Beers of Belgium. I have a copy of it here. This is actually an updated
surprised
version.
It's not in more books, to be honest. Like, I feel like
a couple of others. So I'll come to that.
Of the books that I had, it didn't seem to be listed in any of the books, and I was just like, wild.
Yeah, but there's a whole section on saisons in this book, and that then highlighted it to beer drinkers, and they were like, "Oh, what is this beer?" Particularly, it became popular in the United States because of this book, and importers were then getting hold of DuPont and being like, "We want this beer. It's supposed to be great. Can we have it?" And they started importing it. Saison Dupont then became their number one bestseller, their number one exported beer, and it helped to establish the farmhouse ale concept in craft brewing in America. So there you go.
I feel like the key takeaways as well for me are like, I need that book because I genuinely, like, if you had to tell me like which type of beers, like regionally, you like, every time it's going to be like Belgian beers. Like, I just love like, I don't know, something about them. I think it's because they're always like weird and wonderful and interesting. I feel like Belgian beers for sure. So I need that book. And number 2, this is a wild thing. I'm going to say something wild.
Oh, here she goes.
Is it just me, or like, I kind of want to learn more about like brewing monks?
Yeah.
Like, I've not had enough beer.
Beers?
Yeah, but like, I've not had enough Trappist beers. Like, I've not had many. And I feel like I want to do more.
Do we need to start a series on Trappist beers?
I mean, there is literally the one Trappist brewery in England.
In the UK.
And I'm like, I think it isn't specifically in the south of England. If I remember, it might not be, but I think it is. But that one, because of where I remember it being located, I feel like that's achievable for me to actually get to.
Yeah, we could do that.
And I haven't done it yet, but I really want to. And I want to go. And I want to be like, excuse me, can I make a trip trap? And why are you not letting me? Please don't escort me out this bar. That's my dream, to go to a Trappist brewery and make a trip trap.
Number 1, listeners, do you want a series on Trappist beers? Let us know. Number 2, do you want Tori to go to Tint Meadow and make a trip trap? Let us know.
I am now having to look up where Tint Meadow actually is, because I feel like it's actually not that far.
Well, you do that.
Maybe it is.
So I actually won this book in a raffle at a beer festival, and so it's secondhand. And the person who had it before, so there's pictures on the inside covers of all the different beers, and the person that had it before has started to tick off the ones they'd had.
Cheeky.
Which I think is great. I was like, oh, he's not had Barber, but he did have Lucifer and he did have Chimay Red. He's had Duchess.
I love that you can like see which ones he has and hasn't had. Like, that's fantastic.
So interestingly, there's some without any markings.
In Leicestershire.
There's some with an X. Oh, there you go.
Was that never have?
Like the Stella.
We'll never have that one.
Stella Artois. Well, I think so. Stella Artois got a cross next to it, so I don't think he wanted that one. I'm also assuming that it was a man.
I think that's very rude, and he should have given it a go. Yeah, you did make that assumption. That's your unconscious bias of like, it's obviously a man.
I did. That is my unconscious bias.
You know, it could have been. It could have been somebody else. You don't know.
It might have been. It might have been.
So Tint Meadow is I'm not going to dox myself. Everyone knows I'm in Berkshire. It is just over a 2-hour drive. So it's in Colville, which is in, I believe that is considered Leicestershire. So it is literally only going to take me 2 hours. I think we drove farther to get to the beer spa, because I feel like I drove more than 2 hours to get to the beer spa.
Yeah, I think you did.
So not by much, but by a little bit.
We could do that.
By a half hour to an hour. Could realistically go to Tint Meadow and
Have a trip
it wouldn't be
trap.
that difficult. And have a trip trap
I
and
don't know
bully
if they
them into
do. I
giving me a
don't know
trip
if they
trap.
do a triple.
It doesn't matter because I'll just be like, oh, I'll just take in a trip, and they'll
take
be
a
like,
triple.
why did you bring that in here? I'll be like, oh, sorry, could I get a double, please? And they'll be like, what are you mixing? What are you mixing? And I'm like, just nothing. It's just like, mind your business. That's what I'm making. I'm making a mind your business. I still have this dream of like going to like a Belgian abbey and then being like, which brewery was it where they have like the taps? It's like properly in the old building, and it's where was it? Westmore?
Yeah, but they actually do. They do.
They actually do.
It's a thing for them.
It was a thing, but we were like, we don't know if they actually still do it there. But I was like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to demand it. I'm going to like, excuse me, I need this. They're life changing and I love them. But yeah, that just made me realize, like, completely unrelated to Saison Dupont, but it did make me think, like, I just want to know more about monks that brew. And
we can do that.
Yeah, if anyone's got any good documentaries or anything,
let's know.
Hand them my way.
A few notes about Saison Dupont itself. So the Saison Dupont the Brasserie DuPont website, it's so easy to just say Saison Dupont. It's actually Brasserie DuPont, and they have lots of other beers other than Saison Dupont. But
interestingly,
right?
I feel like when I've seen it on menus plate or like seen it as like a bottle that you could buy, like some of the times it literally just says like Saison Dupont. Yeah. And like I think it just depends on how like who's listing it, like what kind of establishment it is. Like if they don't know enough,
it's got DuPont on it. Like it's got a little shield that says DuPont on it.
It does.
So the Brasserie DuPont website states that Saison Dupont was first brewed on the farm brewery in 1844. Obviously, I don't think that's the version that we drink today. It's probably on the same series.
I kind of hope it is, actually.
Well, it was. No, I think the recipe was changed in the 1920s. So because they then had an engineer come in and things. So, and it says about how the beer was creative for seasonal workers, and it's brewed in the winter and left to ferment to condition for months. It's still brewed with traditional brewing methods such as fermentation in open tanks, bottle re-fermentation, and the use of local well water. One of the books that I was looking at that's got this in, which I'll list in a moment, I was like, maybe I'll like quote this, but I decided not to. But I'm going to paraphrase for you. They said it's made from the local well water, which gives it a metallic taste. Ooh. I was like, I don't think that's complimentary. And I don't think it has got a metallic taste. So I don't know where that opinion came from.
Doesn't. I could understand if maybe somebody like misunderstood what they meant to, not on this beer in general, but like if somebody was saying like, oh, the water gives it more of like a mineralistic taste or something like that. When they meant to say minerals instead of metallic, I'd be like, okay, I'll give you that one. Fine. But metallic, I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah. Unless you're criticizing it to be like, it's not good. It's metallic. Yeah, I don't view metallic as a good taste.
These traditional brewing methods have been maintained over many decades, giving the beer its distinctive character. It's brewed with just Pilsner malt, East Kent Goldings, and Styrian Goldings. And on the website, it says that it is re-fermented in wooden barrels. And then nowadays, it is bottle conditioned. And it then has a second fermentation in the bottle. And the 75 centilitre, so 750 ml bottles of Saison Dupont are fermented for a second time horizontally for 6 weeks. And that is a process that is unique in the area. And looking at the website, there's a nice, I'll put the link in the show notes. There's like a nice kind of timeline of the development of the brewery and things. And then in 2022, they opened up a new warehouse so they could do, because this is a massive export, they needed the space to store it and send it out everywhere. But it's got a cold room to store hops in, but it's also got a hot room to keep the beer in while it's re-fermenting, because the red wine yeast actually likes to ferment at a higher temperature.
That's really interesting.
Again,
like you don't really talk about wine yeast in general, let alone how it reacts and what climate it needs. So that's quite interesting.
So there you go.
That's a lot of good fun facts. I've been really struggling to not drink. This is what is left.
This is
all. So should we open up the second beer, because I've been really trying to not drink it all. Okay. Should we reveal what our saisons are?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I have got from Black Tide Brewing, all the way from Japan, from Nihon, brewed in collaboration with Pride in Kesennuma. Oh no, so brewed with Pride in Kesennuma. That's where they're located. Let me redo that. I have Black Tide Brewing from Japan. The Momiji, which is a saison.
Oh, that's a really pretty can.
7%. It is a really pretty can. That's why I wanted to buy it, because I like the name. And I love that it was all maple leaves. I thought that was just really pretty. It was very seasonal at the time when I was there, when I got it. It was autumnal season anyway. So I was like, oh, beautiful. So the can really is what attracted me to it. I didn't kind of care as much about the style. And then I thought, well, I like Saisons, but great, I'm just going to get it anyways. Get it for the label, enjoy it for the style. And so I thought this would be particularly interesting because I thought, when we're talking about, I could just do a British Saison or something like that. And I thought, you know what? It would be really interesting to see a Japanese take on a Saison, just to see if it's similar to what we normally have or if it's different for whatever reason. I don't think there's any... it is pretty much all in Japanese. Yeah, so I could probably very slowly read it. I've got Biru is all I've got so far.
Good.
It would take me a while to try to work out the rest of it, because it's not written like that. It is written like this as well. So I don't know if it's got anything.
That just made me think, because I didn't look at what ABV Saison Dupont is. It's 6.5%.
I did, because I was like, I don't like this. Is really drinkable.
Higher end of the standard,
but it doesn't taste
ABV range. No, it doesn't taste it. It does not. It is danger juice.
And this one's a full-on 7%. Momiji.
I have got Farmhand Blush from Ampersand, which is a cherry mixed firm saison. This is 8%, so it is beautiful. It's in the Super Saison range.
Super Saison.
Really does make me laugh. It is spiked with sour cherry juice, fermented slowly with Ampersand's own blend of wild yeasts, and aged in Norfolk wine barrels. I'm excited for this one. I've actually had this one.
I do like the term spiked. The term
I like
spiked
that as well.
Makes me chuckle every time, because I'm like, oh, it makes it feel extra like naughty, like extra spicy. You're like, oh, it's spiked. Right. Oh, this one's lively.
Oh, can't get mine open. I was slightly concerned that there was going to be a cork in it, but there isn't. Huzzah.
I really tried to stop it from all the foam going everywhere, and instead I just inhaled it.
Oh no,
that wasn't the one. I just inhaled foam, which you think wouldn't cause that much of a reaction, but I was like from the when you do that thing of like you kind of like do that way if you sip it, and then you sort of like do the thing with your nose.
Breathe.
Yeah. It was like I got the same type of reaction of like choked on it, and then went, oh, it tastes quite fruity from my choking. So, But I would
Mine's
say
this one's orange because it's been spiked with the cherry juice.
I've obviously yeasted up my Saison Dupont. Not in the
it does
sense of
say
there's
that
not it's not bits, it is literally just hazy now.
Mine too.
Which I don't mind.
As I put the end of it in, yeah. But I mean, the style is supposed to be slightly hazy. Yeah, I haven't got bits, but obviously I did get a little bit of more yeast because we had moved it around a little bit. This one has got a bit of a haze. Like I just can't quite see my finger through it.
I would say like my Saison Dupont, if you can see it on the camera, it's like it's hazed up, but there's not chunks in it or anything like that. It's not like I've got actual bits. My Momiji is very, very clear. It's very lightly hazed in the sense of like if I hold my hand behind it, I can very clearly see a finger, but it's distorted. And like, look, it's got foamy head. Looks like a bubble bath in that glass.
Yeah, mine has gone down a little bit, but it might be the glass. But it smells funky. Like this is proper farmhouse.
I think aroma-wise, this one's not as strongly pronounced as like from as far away. It has that like grainy element of smells and stuff, but I think like the estery smell in the Dupont like hit me so hard at the first thing, and now I'm like, oh, I don't get that same bold, but like bold aroma from this one. But it's not unenjoyable. It's not like I smell it and I go, oh, and I don't have to try very hard to smell something. It's just that it's a very light level of like sweetness, tiny bit of like almost a lemony scent and grains.
Mine smells like funk, wood, and sour cherry.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
It's going to be tasty.
With mine, I do have those similar bubbles. Now that I'm looking at it, I do have those similar bubbles. Same size of that, very noticeable, quite quick moving, maybe slightly less than the Saison Dupont, like in the sense of how many there are. But there's like two very continuous streams, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but you can just barely see it where it's not blocked by the glare. But like, yeah, it's very similar in that regard as well. So shall we tuck in?
Let's. Cheers. Oh, she is jammy. She is woody. She is funky. I like her.
I want to know if this has peach in it, because this has a
flavor.
Very delicate, a very light, delicate, sweet fruitiness that is tasting a little bit peachy in a really lovely way. Ooh. But it took me off guard because it's not in the aroma. It smells a little bit more lemony in the aroma. Maybe there is actually, now that I go back and smell it, maybe there is a bit of like a fruity syrup type. Maybe blossom, like a fruit blossom, or like a cordial, like a fruity cordial. But it just tastes peachy and it's really nice. Really very light. It does not taste 7%.
Yeah, mine doesn't. Oh, I forgot mine was 8%. It doesn't taste 8%. Oh dear.
There's still a dryness there. Like quite a bit pronounced dryness. I would say though, in terms of body, the Momiji's very much lighter bodied, I think, whereas I think I got more of a fuller mouthfeel from the Dupont versus from this one. But I think it works because of that delicate fruit flavor. Like this is definitely something that you could sit outside in the sun, get your gardening on, do whatever you're going to do, and it is I know it's like autumnal, maple leaves that are on this, but it really has given me springtime / summer vibes, because it is that like we're moving into bright, sunny, happy weather, warm weather. Like that is the vibes that it is giving me from this.
I love it. Mine is,
I really like it.
Mine's got this really jammy note to it, but it's still really dry, so it makes it really drinkable. It does not taste 8%. Danger, Will Robinson.
I rarely find that there's a Saison that tastes like a really high ABV, even when it is.
It's just like you say, this one is, I really find myself, though I drink all beer styles all year long, I find myself gravitating towards them in the summer, particularly. And this feels like a summer beer. Like, it feels like we should be drinking this at Little Earth Fest. Like, I can imagine us sat outside on a bench seat in nice warm weather, sipping on this. Like, that's the vision I'm getting from this. Like, under a tree, maybe a cheese board.
I always just go like warm. Like, I will literally have a Saison all year round. Like, genuinely, I don't mind.
Oh yeah.
But when you have those flavors, and you're just like, sun, maybe picnic. That's my brain immediately. Like, if I'm like doing a thought cloud, and like there's like sun, picnic, cheese board. There's always a cheese board involved.
With you,
there's never not a cheese board.
There's always a cheese board and charcutes. Always with you.
There is always. And I mean, as I was making dinner, I had to take like cheese out, and I had like a really nice like aged cheese. I got to do like, it was still just cheddar, but it was like an aged cheese to do charcuterie, and then just like the normal cathedral, whatever it is, cheese. And I was like, oh, is my snacking cheese and my functional cheese? And I was like, oh, I don't want the snacking cheese, I want the functional cheese. And that says I feel like I need the fancy cheese, not the functional one for this. That's just this one. I will say this one, this black tide one, does give me celebratory vibes as well, in the sense of like it gives me peach Bellini.
Oh, I feel like this would be like, it's like your fruit chutney with your crackers. Like, you've got your crackers and your cheese.
Ooh,
and then this is your, and there's like a funkiness and a like that dryness would cut through the creaminess of your cheese, but add that fruity element, like you put a nice chutney on it. Speaking of which, do you want to know some food pairings that I came up with for Saisons?
I absolutely do. Sorry, as you were going through that, I was trying to translate this label.
Oh, to work out what's on it.
Yeah.
Well, while you do that, let me talk about food and beer pairing with Saison, because that has led us nicely into this. So because Saisons are dry, effervescent, and moderately bitter with a spicy, fruity yeast character, they pair really well with quite a few foods. They'll go really nice with shellfish and seafood, such as mussels, prawns, and grilled fish, because the brightness cuts through the richness of oily fish. Herb enhanced dishes will go really well with the Saison, like a herby roast chicken or herb sauces. Barbecue and grilled meats, because it will complement the smoky and spicy flavors where you might have added a rub to your meat. And it goes really well with cheese, goat's cheese, Comté type styles, farmhouse cheeses that have a little bit of acidity. And it goes really well with Asian cuisine, like Thai curries or dishes with aromatic spices, because it complements those spices. Speaking of cheese, because we're doing a lot of talking about cheese.
I love cheese, but like I'm bland with I'm beige with my cheeses. Brasserie
DuPont make their own cheeses.
What? Do they wash it in the beer?
Yes, they do.
I love a washed cheese.
There is
That's what I miss about Grumpy
DuPont
Goat.
Washed cheese. There is a Mianette washed cheese. They've one that's washed with their lager. Like, they make their own cheeses. I've never had their cheeses. I feel like I now need the Saison Dupont cheese. I'm just saying.
All you have to do is say the word and I will go anywhere. I will go to any Belgian area and have cheeses.
So there you go. Saison with food. Saison Dupont with the Saison Dupont cheese. Let's do it.
I need to look that up because that's amazing. There's so many places I want to go to, but I think like the problem is where like a lot of these places are so, I think what I learned as well on like the tour de guide, these places are so far outside of like the main area. And obviously like when I moved over to the UK, I'm not saying any other country is different. All I'm saying is in the UK, I think there's such a strong don't drink and drive culture compared to where you go to other countries. They're sort of a little bit like, you can have a few drinks and drive. And like here, it's very like, you can, but like even having like one or two, like it very much depends on like what you are drinking, the strength, like all of that. And sometimes it's just like a full on no. And sometimes if it's like 3%, you're like, I could get away with like one or two. And then if I'm leaving in 5 hours, great. A lot of these places I feel that are like remote in these villages and stuff, you know, on the Tour de Guerres, for example, if I wasn't on a bus going from
They were
Guzri to
they encourage
Guzri,
people to cycle between each one. Like
I
that feels like
do
a
not.
wobbly
I
cycle
saw
trip.
people pull up on their bikes, and I was just like, "How are you doing this?" And I saw the areas they were biking. I was like, "What? Like, what are you doing?" I'm stressed out cycling on a road with cars in general because I think, you know, when someone watches you type something, and like normally I can type over 100 words per minute. Like, I'm not worried about my typing abilities. I can touch type. I can do all that. Someone comes round to your desks and says, like, can you find this thing? I can't spell the word you. Like, I'm like, I can't. How do I? It's 3 letters. I can't find it. Can't do it. Biking, you're now like, put me on a road with other individuals. There's very strict rules in a lot of places about the biking etiquette and everything. I'm like, big no, like absolutely big no. And that's before you add Tour de Guerres level of beers to the list.
Drinking.
I'm like, I can't be doing that. Absolutely.
That is some last of the summer wine type shiz.
It's a lot. And I think it'd be so interesting. I think if you were more familiar with the area and could speak the language, which I am really bad at, I think that it could be a situation where you could probably, across a weekend, you could probably go to like a few places on a bike. But I still think it's brave. But like, the point I'm getting at is just like where some of these places are located. It would be, there's so many places I want to visit, but you want to make the most of your time. But like, to get there, it takes so much time to like get there. And then you're like, well, now I'm here and there's nothing to do other than go to this one place. And it's like, oh, I could spend a few hours here. You don't want to rush it, but you never know how long you're going to take. So it's like, spend a few hours here. And then I just travel back to the city I was in. Like, I think a road trip is probably the way to tackle this, but you'd need like quite a lot of time to get between each place, stay nearby to one of these places, and then each day go to a new place. That would be pretty cool, I think, because I feel like the cheese is worth it in general.
The cheese is worth it. There. That's a quote of the episode. The cheese is worth it.
The cheese is worth the squeeze. I did translate this, so I went on Untapped and I just highlighted it all because it's all in Japanese, and then I went, it's not all in Japanese, the ingredients are not. And I was like, translate. And it basically says the malts used were Pilsner and Vienna. The hop used is Luminosa. And it doesn't really say. It's just a flavor of Saison yeast. Doesn't say anything about the fruit added or anything like that. The more I drink it, the less peachy it is. Okay. It just was that immediate hit. Maybe that's coming from the hop, sweet. Then. It's a lovely, like, sweet, fruity, like I said, like a cordial or like a blossom, like something that is just like that sweet fruitiness. That's nice. But I was hoping they were going to be like made with a light touching of peach, but it's not. But yeah, that was interesting.
I have one last fun fact for you before we get into what you are. So I was looking in the section of great beers of Belgium, and where we were talking about the strengths of Saison.
Super Saison.
Michael Jackson, not that Michael Jackson.
Not that one.
Noted that the Saison were originally produced to a variety of strengths. And he has labeled them from his research as including the labels of children's, family, double, and royal. May also be called regal.
I love that.
So there you go. That was very interesting.
If I may. My favorite is like the child, because of like the fact that that's fantastic.
Children's Saison.
The fact that's an option, I'm like, great. But really the star of the show, in my humble opinion, is that you've got royal. It's like, may also be called regal.
Regal Saison. Let's do it.
I think that anything that's more royal should always just be called regal. Anything fancy, we should always be calling it regal. I tell Phelan she's looking real regal sometimes. So I think it's a great word. It's a great description. So yeah, that's my particular favorite. I think from that is either the child or regal. Yeah. Or like family, like this one's family friendly. We can all have this one. This is great for everyone.
Yeah,
but the children one only for the children. Before I go into the feedback and stuff, have you tried your Saison Dupont since having the...
Oh, I haven't. Let me do that.
Well, it's going to be quite difficult because yours are probably quite
Mine's
drastically
very different.
I thought I'd just do a check-in.
It actually makes my Saison Dupont seem slightly sweeter.
Would it be wild if I said, I'm not saying do this, but if you were like, let's just save a bit of that Saison Dupont and then mix it. I love beer blending. And I think some people would hate that. But I'm like, what? You got one good beer, another good beer. They seemingly go well together. Mix them.
I mean, I can do
that. Could be interesting.
That's all I've got left of my Saison Dupont, so...
Oh, I feel like that was a lot to still mix with, but do it, girl. Yes. Don't at me if people are mad about this. I just want to know how it's going to mix. I will say, I think the Belgian-y flavour is more stronger in the Dupont than my Mumiji, but they are very comparable in taste, which is great.
I think the cherry has really complemented the white fruits of the Saison Dupont.
Would you say that, like, in that mixture, was it more, would you say it's 50-50, or would you say you went slightly less on the cherry?
Less on the cherry. I kind of went by colour, so I made it so that it was a bit more orange.
Love it.
And I would say that the Saison Dupont has mellowed out the real funkiness of the farmhand blush, but I think it melds really together. It's gone like really nice and fruity. So there's only kind of a subtleness of the cherry now because it's mixed with the other kind of fruitiness of the Saison Dupont, but it's quite nice.
I do think people just never think to, not that they never think to mix, I think they think it's like a crime to blend beers like that.
Purists.
But what I learned from when we did the beer blending that time, that they had like the really small cans of both, and then you could like blend them, is like, why can't you just blend two? Like, if you think two beers will go together, why can't you?
One of those was a Saison. The rhubarb crumble one was a Saison.
They were amazing. They were like, I would love to see more blending, like more encouraged blending, because I think some people think, no, I have this and I can't blend it with anything. And then when you said that, like, back to back, they complemented each other, I was like, girl, blend it. Because I just think that's fun. It's innovative. It's creative. Like, if I were in a tap room, get two small glasses of each, try them both on the side and blend them together. Like, we should be encouraging this more. And I'm really glad that those two things blended really well together, and that you weren't like, it's awful, because then I'd have to be like, I redact that, never blend anything ever.
That was
good. Before I go into like the actual like comments that I found on the internet to close us out, I don't want to bias you. You know, I love giving you a good test on Untapped and Beer Advocate. I'll let you pick. Do you want to do Untapped or Beer Advocate first?
Untapped first, please.
Because it's
I feel like I have a better sense of I feel like I have a better sense of the scales there.
You're one with the people of Untapped. It's a Beer Advocate's a little bit too regal.
I just know that the nonsense that goes on Untapped.
It's the people's app. Okay. So, what would you guess the total unique check-ins are?
Oh, quite a lot, I would have thought. Like,
actually, I wouldn't even say total unique, just total in general. You don't even have to call it the total unique.
400,000. No,
not massively far off, but you're in the right region, but not quite. Total is 320,838 total check-ins. In terms of unique check-ins, that's 248,870.
Okay.
Any guess on monthly check-ins using that data?
Like 500.
978.
Oh, I thought I was overestimating.
Oh, sorry, 971. Sorry, I mixed two numbers together. 970. That's still quite.
Yeah, that's still quite
nearly
a lot of
double.
month. Yeah.
Guesses on. So I will tell you, out of 227,878 ratings, do you want to guess what the average rating is?
I feel like Saison Dupont's not for everyone. Like a Saison isn't for everyone. So I feel like that could affect it. 3.9.
3.68.
Wow.
The audacity, right?
I thought I was going low. I told you, people drink it and they go, I don't like Saisons.
So one of my favorites is, and this is not even included. This is not even included in my wrap up. But this is like hot off the presses as of 4 hours ago. I've had to translate this, and that's why I didn't spot it. That's why it's not on my final list. But the comment on it was checked in 3 out of 5 stars. And the comment was, not the best thing from Belgium. Works well on the Saison scale, but it's nothing extra. But you're rating it on the Saison scale.
Yeah, it is a Saison.
I do love that they are holding, this person is holding this Saison up to the pedestal of like all Belgian beers. And they were like, you know what? It works well for a Saison, but it's not the best thing to come out of Belgium. Yeah. But 3 out of 5, when you're saying that it's a good Saison. That just happened to be one that on the fly just happened to see now. Really wound me up there. And then you've got someone that's rated 4 out of 5. This is 5 hours ago. 4 out of 5 stars. Photo of my favourite Saison while looking over one of my favourite stations.
It's a favourite Saison, but it's only 4 stars.
And it says, this is my view from my apartment. I am with my people. And I'm thinking, fair enough, but that feels a little bit harsh to be like, this is one of my favourite Saisons. 4 out of 5 stars. So I think that kind of illustrates this point.
Untapped.
Very weird. Sorry. Can I just tell you, 20 hours ago, smell. Slightly salty sour smell. Almost like white wine.
Salty
Taste.
sour, okay.
Slight bitterness. Again, like white wine. But the wine is spelled like whining. Which I'm not criticizing. Yeah, with an H. I'm not criticizing because I know that there's all different reasons why it could be spelled. Fine. Autocorrect, great.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm not sure this person has had white wine. At least maybe I'm drinking very different white wine to them. What got me was their name.
Yeah.
Was the initial like, okay. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I just think it was the slightly salty sour smell that I'm it's not like white wine at all. But fair enough. So yeah, there you have it. The people on Untapped have spoken. Moving on to Beer Advocate. Right. So how many ratings do you think it has received?
I'm going to go 400,000 again.
4,648.
4,000? I'm very out.
Yeah. I'm thinking the difference is that Beer Advocate, as we discussed before,
American-centric.
very US-centric. And I think from what I've seen online, people really, they hear about it, they're excited to try it, but they really struggle to get hands on it. And they might get like one hand on it. Whereas I think globally, that's accounting for a lot more people.
Yeah.
Average rating? Any guess?
They're out of 10, aren't they? I ask this every time.
No, I think they're out of 5.
He's out of 5.
Out of 5.
4.1. think they're more discerning on a Beer Advocate.
4.19.
People on Beer Advocate are more beer discerning.
I think they're a little bit more regal.
They are, indeed.
If I may say so myself. Scoring wise, that's out of 100. So that might be what you're thinking about the 10.
Yes.
Out of 100, score?
96.
93.
Ooh,
you're close
I'm
on
not
that
doing
one.
too badly, yeah.
No, you're not. Not on this one, anyways. And final question to you: what do you think it is ranked?
I feel like it'll have been bumped down by something like Hill Farmstead.
That's one thing I haven't opened, and I will open that now because it will be like Hill Farmstead.
Hill Farmstead.
What I need to do is the next time I go back, I need to get some Hill Farmstead just on principle. I think I nearly bought some the last time I was in the US just because. All right, what do you think? How far down do you think it's been bumped?
I think it's like 15.
I'm gonna give you
Is
one.
it further?
I'm gonna give you one. Yeah, I'm gonna give you one do-over on that.
26.
If only 3,671.
What? That is horrendous.
Oh no, I think that's about
worldwide. That's all beers.
All beers. I had a panic because I didn't realise that they had sort of like changed something on the end, and I was like, that's
really
very far down.
Yeah.
It is still quite far down though. It's ranked 71 in terms of Belgian.
71?
Belgian Saison. Yeah.
What's in the top 10?
Let's see if it's Hill Farmstead.
I bet it's
if
Hill
it is,
Is it Hill Farmstead? It is.
Number 1 is Side Project Brewing's Oud Fermier.
Okay.
Number 2, Side Projects Apricot du Fermier. My pronunciation's probably awful because I failed French, so that's what you get. Number 3, Hill Farmstead.
Told you.
Number 4, Arthur Pension.
Oh.
Hill Farmstead.
Hill Farmstead, yeah.
Number 5, Hill Farmstead. Florence Pension. It's a family of regality. Then you've got Side Project again. So that's number 1 Side Project, number 2 Side Project, number 3 Hill Farmstead, number 4 Hill Farmstead, number 5 Hill Farmstead, number 6 Side Project, number 7 Side Project, 8 and 9 Hill Farmstead.
I told you it'd be Hill Farmstead.
Casey Brewing and Blending and Barrel Cellar. 11 Hill Farmstead, 12 and 13 Side Project Brewing. And there's more Hill Farmstead as well further down the list. Anchorage Brewing made it on there.
Oh, well done, Anchorage.
Number 24, Love Buzz Saison. Oxbow's on there.
Oh yeah,
Momoko, which I think I actually have that one. To be fair,
you got me one. What?
No, that's not the one. I don't think it's that one I got you. I think I got that one for me.
Okay.
Fine. I drank the one that I got you. I've drank already because we didn't use it. And
maybe I've drunk it already then.
And I wanted to drink it, so I drank it. Fine. But there's a lot of Side Project and a lot of Hill Farmstead, which just says to me that I think I need to go. Oh,
Hill Farmstead.
Goose Island's on there.
Which one?
Sophie.
I do.
Sophie's on there.
This is what I really miss about Goose Island getting acquired and all of that jazz. Like, yes, you can still get Bourbon County, but like only that one. I really loved the Sour Sisters range, like Sophie, Matilda, Madame Rose. Oh.
Didn't have that one. Had Sophie, Matilda, and I think that's the ones that Tesco managed to find. This was like years ago now. They managed to find however much, and then they like released them back to the shops. And that's when we got them.
Lockdown, during lockdown, like around that about time, they had Matilda and Sophie because I think they like found a load on a radiator somewhere.
I think they found a bunch, and then they were like, "We found these." here. And I think a bunch of people didn't really care about them.
Yeah.
And then you were like, they've got these, you need to get them. And I was like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
And
so
got
good.
them and enjoyed them. I really liked them.
Were some of my favorite. Like, they were so good. So good. But yeah. In fact, I'm looking through my list of saisons. So I've
How
tried
many
Florence,
of Hill Farmstead?
Florence and Anna are Hill Farmstead. Do you know what? I had those in one of those Blue Dog bars. Many years ago.
It took me a minute. I was like, the Blue Dog bars. Got you.
Many years ago, like at the beginning of my craft beer journey, because people were just like, Hill Farmstead's so amazing, and they were one of the only people to bring them over, and they are, and they were one of the only people that imported them, and they had them. I think I had like a third of each when we were up in Scotland for like the AGM or something. So according to my Untapped, I have tried 185 unique different saisons.
That is interesting. I have got 71.
Ooh.
Not a lot.
I love a saison. I've checked in Saison Dupont 3 times. And
I
that's
would
just
love
how many
this.
times I've checked it in, not how many times I've actually drunk it.
What I'm disappointed about is that it's not an alphabetical order, so it's really hard for me to find out how many Hill Farmsteads I've had. I've had quite a lot of Oxbow. But like, if we're talking about something like, so I've had Hill Farmstead, but like, I don't think it was like saisons that I was having. Yeah. I've got quite a few Jester Kings. I've got
some Jester Kings.
I've got some Jester Kings. I've got Oxbow.
And I was like, who are my favourite breweries that have done saisons, or that people could find? I've gone on about the Sales Sisters. You can't find those anymore, so ignore me on those. But the Colonel tends to do some like fruited saisons. If you can give Little Earth Project have got any of their saisons, they did a lemon and rosemary saison once.
I don't know if you can get those anymore though.
They've still got.
You have to go to. I think you have to kind of go to there.
Yeah, they have got stuff on the website. They do still have stuff, but you have to go see what there is. But somewhere you can consistently get a great saison, Burning Sky. And
True.
Quite a lot. Duration do a great saison. Wilderness do a great saison. Who else? One of my favourite saisons after Saison Dupont is La Vermontois from Brasserie DuPont. That one is so good. That's another Belgian brewery. Do you know who else does really good ones when they come out and you don't see them that often, so you have to grab them? Is Abbeydale's Funk Dungeon.
Oh yeah, the whole funk series is really good. I would say to add to that list, just looking through what I've got there. Oh, I think that Balance Brewing and Blending, that Brave Noise. Yes, I had the second bottle.
Have you drunk the second one?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I shared it. I did.
And I shared it.
No, I think I drank it on the podcast with you.
Oh, I took
the other bottle, and I did share it with Ruth before the
that's fast. So that's fine then.
So you can't be that mad. I think Wilderness is one of the ones that I like. They are always a very good saison. Yeah. But like taking them out of the equation because you already named them. If I'm saying other people, Sobremesa.
Yeah, Sobremesa
genuinely really the ones I had from there is really good.
The reason that I got us to pick a second saison from our stash is because I think that Saison Dupont is like your baseline, no frill, like not no frills, but like this is what a messed about with saison tastes like. But saison, as I said, saison is such a good base to add other things to. Like you can add different herbs to it. You can add grains of spice, grains of paradise to it to add some spiciness. You can add all the different types, probably not all at once, but all the different types of pepper, white, black, pink, whatever you like. You can add fruit. You can add herbs. You can change up the grain bill and have some like heritage grains in there. And the thing I really like about the Sobremesa one is you can taste the grains that they've used in it. So good.
And it pairs so good with charcuterie.
Yeah.
Fancy cheeses. I think saisons are probably the style that you can have whether you are regal or whether you are just a peasant.
You're a child.
Whether you are a child, whether you are regal, whether you are a peasant like me, sat in the back of the plane because you can't and won't pay for an upgrade. I feel like everyone can enjoy. Just like there's a saison for everyone, really. To be fair, the question we were asking is there is this the season for saisons? And I think every season
always
is for saisons. This has made me really sad though, because
why?
I'm really sad because I'm going through this list and there's Boutilia's Tanuki, and I really liked Tanuki.
So the thing about the Boutilia's ones is they used to infuse them with different teas. And that one was the green tea one, wasn't it?
Tanuki made me, it was. And Tanuki made me really happy. So I will say as well, just to turn this out before we give our final thoughts, I was trying to search beyond I was trying to find like memorable, like good quotes to just be like, are there any good, strong, opinionated quotes from people either positively or negatively? Yeah. I found so many positive ones. I had to do a search for negative ones just to try to counterbalance. I literally could not find any, except for, I mean, I'm sure there are ones, but like just a really quick search before we started recording. So I didn't do like a whole digging through everything. No, I just did like, I searched through some Reddit threads. I searched through some article. Like I found an article from Hop Culture, which we can link to, which is basically just talking about like, Saison Dupont is a perfect beer. Yeah. And it was their managing editor reviewing it. Yep. This was in 2021. So it's not like that many years ago. Yeah. And it's literally like glowing review. So we can share that because that goes through tasting notes and everything else and opinions. But then I was just trying to find like a whole breadth of responses, and it was overwhelmingly positive. So some of my favorite ones that I clipped out were, one quote was on Reddit: "The thing I love about this beer is that it made me love saisons. The thing I hate about this beer is that there are no other saisons that come close." I was like, fair. I'll hold that one, but someone else said, "If you like saisons, then you should enjoy Saison Dupont is pretty much the definition of style." Yep. Someone else said, "It's a classic beer, basically the golden standard of for a Belgian saison, def worth trying regardless of your beer preferences." Someone else said, "I have drunk gallons of the stuff over the years. It is one of the best beers I've ever had. I like it really cold personally. I buy 750s and one 750 is one session." They mentioned some other bits, but they basically just said, it said, "It is not only a good saison," with some other comments there, it says, "but it is an excellent counterpoint to what a bad saison does wrong. It is wonderful." And I thought that was a really insightful I think that one in the first comment for me were like the most insightful comments there. Someone else said, "Saison Dupont is the standard by which every other saison is judged. You should try it just for the educational experience of tasting it." I don't disagree with that. 100%. So she said, "It is the best saison in the world. Enjoy it." The only negative comment that I could find in my, and when I say like a quick review, like I looked for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I could have dug deeper and found something, but the only thing that came up without doing a heavy search was that someone said, "Tried a Saison Dupont, didn't like it. Tasted like cheap 5-cent bubble gum."
Oh.
Which really threw me off.
Then, I reckon.
Which really threw me off. And then the only other thing I found was an article or like a post in which somebody had said like, "I got a skunked Saison Dupont."
Yeah.
But that was very fair of like, all the comments were negative, but the comments were negative because they said literally it was skunked.
Yeah. It wasn't kept well.
But other than that, everything I find is unanimously good. So
it's a good beer.
For me, I think this leads me to say, is it a bucket list beer? Yeah. And I think the reason is it's not massively inaccessible. Maybe if you live in other parts of the world, it's not as easy. But if you travel, it's definitely easier. And if you don't travel, it's not the hardest thing to get hands on because it's a regular beer that comes out. It's not like it's a core range. It's not like if we're going to put it in that terminology, it's not like a one-off release that happens once every 2 years or 3 years or once a year. And it's not price point wise, it's not, maybe when importing is taken into consideration, that's removed. But like in terms of the base level of like what it costs, it's not extortionately priced comparatively. So for me, I think if you come across it, try it. Even if you don't like saisons, maybe don't rate it. Don't go, it's all right for a Saison, hate it,
But
though,
try it,
in
because if
general.
you've not tried this one before, then maybe maybe this will change your mind about it, because it is
I think
a
if you want a
very
good
good
clean
example of what a
definition
Saison should be.
Yeah, 100%. What about you? What are your final thoughts on
I mean,
that?
it's one of my favourite beers. People have asked me, like, what's your favourite Saison? I will always say Saison Dupont. It is the one that shows you what Saison is. Just as a final note, it is in, like, we're looking at bucket list beers. It is in I was quite surprised. It's only in a couple of the books that give you.
I'm surprised it wasn't in more.
Yeah, so it is in 1001 Beers to Try Before You Die. That is page 477. And it is in 300 Beers to Try Before You Die on page 208. So I was surprised it wasn't in World's Greatest Beers. No one picked that.
Yeah,
but,
like, I think I've got that book and I was like shocked where like
yeah,
that,
it's not in there. I went back
I've got
and
a few
double-checked.
books and it's just like I skimmed through I've got them all saved on like a spreadsheet just because I was like, oh, where is this beer mentioned? How many books? And I'm like, not even one out of the books I have. No. Like, that can't be
two
right.
of mine. It's in two of mine, so we're okay. It is in some of the.
It's in something,
books.
and the Belgian beer book you've got. So
it is in Great Beers of Belgium by Michael Jackson. Not that one.
Not that one. That's the. I picture it being all one word of like Michael Jackson, and then in brackets, not that one, all one word.
Yeah,
bracket.
All right, Tori. If people want to let you know.
Talk to me about the monks, please. Talk to me about the monks.
They want us to do a Trappist beer series.
I've been thinking about it the whole time. I've been thinking about it this whole time.
She's already formulated it. We're already doing it.
I've not even formulated it, but I've just been like, when someone's like, you're talking, and then it's like what my brain is actually doing. It's like monks, 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 monks. So then it's like trip, trap. Yeah, talk to me about that, because I just tell me where I can find out more educational things, preferably in audio format if you can give me like a good podcast, but not just on monks in general. Like, I don't just want to know about monks
brewing.
I want to know specifically about brewing
and brewing
monks.
Nuns. Like, there are brewing nuns,
and brewing nuns
as well.
We're not discriminating here. Like, brewing clergy. Give me give me the rundown. Give me a book, give me an audiobook, give me a podcast, give me a documentary. I'm here for that. Please reach out to me. This has nothing to do with Saison Dupont, but I'm invested now in the brewing clergy. So please reach out to me. Let me know where I can find out and learn more. I love every day is a school day. Love learning. You can find me on Instagram, adventures_in_hoptimism. You can email me at adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com, or you can go on the blog that I do not update and probably haven't even paid to re-up the site, but I probably have by this point, hopefully, which is adventuresinhoptimism.com. If you want to speak to Joe and I both about any other styles you want, like, do you want us to do a Trappist style the same way that we did the lager series? If you want us to finish the lager series, if you want us to, if you've got recommendations on other bucket list beers or places that we can go to drink bucket list beers and have beautifully washed cheeses, you can message us on Instagram at A Woman's Brew. You can email us at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can come to the blog that does get updated, because every time we upload a new episode, that gets updated.
It does.
You can find us at awomansbrewpod.beer. That's awomansbrewpod.beer. Joe, what do you want people to come talk to you about? I'm just going to ask you this time.
If you want to come and suggest a Saison to me that maybe I haven't had, I'm always here for good Saison recs. You can find me. I am Love Beer Learning. You can find me on Instagram. I am on Facebook, but I will definitely answer you if you find me on Instagram. You can also come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk. I also don't update that. I have a plan to update it, and I have not.
We're both like, don't update it. Don't update it. But you know what?
It's there.
We're both on Instagram. We're pretty responsive on Instagram.
We update that, and we're responsive, so just come to Instagram. Or you can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Let's go. I'm going to go finish my blended beer.
I'm loving this.
Cheers.